Hello and welcome to AB Talks. I'm delighted to be joined today by Dr. Sanjay Parashar, the chairman and founder of Cocoona Centre for Aesthetic Transformations. Doctor, thank you for joining me and welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
So to start with, why can't you just give us a quick overview of how the interest in cosmetic surgery has changed over the last couple of years?
See, if I talk about UAE, it has dramatically changed. And I think there are two different aspects to it. The most important is we're aware that people are becoming self-conscious now. They're looking after their health. They are doing fitness and they want to have a better self-image. So that's helping grow this aesthetic surgery business. But on the other hand, the technologies have advanced. We have access to everything that's available worldwide. And that has improved the standard of aesthetic practice in the UAE. And that has also been a major advance in the development in the last few years. So combine both and also the fact that people are now talking openly about it in social media, I think all of this combined is just growing.
So you already mentioned there the UAE a couple of times and developments in the UAE. The country is already known as a medical tourism hub. How does that impact the kind of patients that you see? Do you see patients from all over the place or are they more residents and nationals?
We've actually treated almost people from 45 different countries. And every year, the demographics is increasing. So we have more and more people from different parts of the world coming in. But we also have people who are traveling to Dubai for surgeries. They're coming from US, they're coming from Nigeria, they're coming from India, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia. I think there is a lot of combination of things they're getting here. They're getting the best healthcare, they're getting high quality service here, and it's a very safe place.
So, I mean, that's interesting. You've already mentioned a couple of things which I think drive into my next question here, which is how does the UAE rank as a medical destination, if you were, on the global stage? How does UAE healthcare compare to other countries around the world?
See, I think UAE is probably one of the best in the world right now. And I think the reasons are several. One of them is the infrastructure. We have got one of the best infrastructures. I have worked around the world. I've worked in the US, I was in Australia, I was in Korea. But I see the quality of healthcare practice here is far more superior. The government, the medical health authorities, the municipality, the civil defense, they've all put together a solid protocol that we are governed by. And there's no shortcut to it because their primary goal is people's welfare, happiness and health. So the quality of healthcare is phenomenal. The other interesting thing is this is the only place where plastic surgeons, qualified plastic surgeons are the only people who can actually do aesthetic surgeries, unlike many other parts in the world. So that actually also improves the quality of service here. And a minimal qualified surgeon here is at least 5 years past his qualification. So we're getting everything here. So I think this is probably one of the best places to practice and to have surgeries.
So these frameworks that you're talking about, one of the reasons why the UAE is so well set up, how have they changed? Because we've seen regulatory change across different sectors and industries over the last couple of years. How has it changed for the healthcare and for aesthetic surgeries in general?
See, I think they've been closely following the international practices, best practices, and they've slowly started adopting it. And the great thing is they have involved all the practitioners in the market to help them, give them feedback so they could improve on their regulations. And I think it's just been advancing.
So, I mean, we've seen obviously a huge upset across the business community over the last couple of years. We had COVID-19. Obviously, that would have impacted things such as medical tourism, people being unable to travel. How has that impacted your business? How has that impacted cosmetic surgery and aesthetic transformations?
See, interestingly, actually, we've experienced two different things during this COVID time. The first time when it hit in, and of course, after the initial lockdown, we were all at home, not doing anything at all, it picked up. It, in fact, was the best months that we had, and we were very busy doing cosmetic surgeries because I believe people had nothing else to do. They were not traveling, they were not doing anything, they were not working, they were working from home, so they had enough time to do surgery. So we had a big surge, and business-wise, that was the best year.
That's
surprisingly
unusual in comparison.
Unusual.
Yeah.
But then 2021, things slowed down with the second and third wave. And the spread of the COVID, although it was not serious, fortunately, people were worried. So they wanted to slow down. They knew that this is going to get over. So we are expecting 2022 and 23 would be better.
So how would you describe business at the moment?
It's getting better. Yeah, it's always, we are very, very, very optimistic. And we know that whenever we need to slow down, we slow down. We just wait for the best opportunity. We wait for the best time. So it's going to increase. It's going to improve.
So, you're saying business is going to improve, but in February this year, you just launched a new center in Los Angeles, correct?
That's right.
So that must have been driven by market trends in the US. Is that through demand that you've seen over there? Why did you choose the US? Why did you choose Los Angeles?
So last 2 years, we were just, overviewing what we are doing and what our future plans are. And I wanted to have a standardized aesthetic practice, and I wanted it to spread globally through Cocoona. And my vision is to be not only in the US, but to be in France, to be in Italy, in Singapore, and Los Angeles is just the baby step that we have started.
What's the differential? Los Angeles is obviously a hub for plastic surgeries and cosmetic surgeries already. What's the differentiating factor for Cocoona? How do you see yourself as different to other players in the market?
Of course, LA is, like you said, is very advanced and people are very well aware of cosmetic surgery. So obviously the demand is much higher there. Obviously, but to set up to the existing standard, it's challenging, and it'll be a great learning experience for us. And I think that will help not only in the US, but it will also help us in the UAE.
Do the needs of clients in the US differ dramatically from the clients that you've already dealt with in the UAE? Are different kinds of products and procedures more popular in the US compared to here?
Actually not. And I think that's why it's easy, because the needs are the same, the requests are the same, the expectations are the same. There are minor differences based on the geographic or ethnicity or the community based, but by and large it's pretty much the same.
And what kinds of products are we going to see on the horizon? Are there new developments that we should be looking out for? New kinds of options for customers? Is there something new coming?
So we are developing and we are going to expand, and we're focusing a lot on few things. One is the patient safety. We just want the safety part to be better and better. So patients are assured of their outcomes and safety. That's one. Second is we want to add more and more of technologies, non-surgical, so people don't have to go through surgery for every little thing. So there'll be a lot of non-surgical technologies that will help treat different parts of the body. Then we are focusing on training. So that's another product line. That's going to be a commercialized training program that will happen for youngsters who want to get into this business. We're also expanding into product line, skincare. So we already have 13 products and we're going to add to that. So we're looking at the demand, we're looking at what people are interested in, and we are just trying to fulfill the needs of the people.
So in health, I've spoken to other healthcare industry professionals, right? And one of the trends that they've really highlighted to me is around technology and the impact that technology has changed in the way they do their businesses. Obviously, you sit in a slightly different side of the spectrum there. How are you seeing this interplay in terms of how you implement technology in dealing with customers, in how they access your products?
So it may be a bit too early to say, but we are also looking at artificial intelligence and metaverse, because we think that's going to really change the world completely. And we are preparing for it. I'm already researching on it. So we are putting artificial intelligence into place to service our clients. So they have everything they need on the fingertips. But metaverse is very interesting. And that's for people to learn how things are done so they can actually visualize how the procedure is done and how that could benefit. But on the other hand, it will also help the fraternity for better learning, particularly the younger generation who wants to get into the business or get into the practice. So I think that will be a huge revolution.
Interesting on both sides of the spectrum
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
So final thing from me then, I suppose. We've had this announcement that you're going to be opening in Los Angeles. You're opening in Los Angeles. What's the next development? Where's the next expansion? Can you give us a peep into the future of the company?
We're looking at GCC. We are looking at, of course, within UAE. Very soon we'll be in Abu Dhabi. We're looking at Saudi Arabia. We're already present in Bahrain. We're looking in Paris and talking in to people in Italy. So yeah, there are a few things in the horizon. We're just waiting for the right time and the right opportunity.
Well, that's it from me then. Thank you very much, Doctor. Is there anything that you would like to add as your final thoughts before we wrap up the interview?
No, I think it was great. I mean, we had a great chat. The only thing, of course, we want people to be aware of is the safety. They need to do the research very well, and they need to understand who to go to and which place to go to. So they also need to be very well learned and educated about, what they want to do for themselves.
Excellent. Well, Doctor, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.